How you doing out there? Welcome to Wielding Excalibur's 21st Century Earth in a Nutshell, Part 2. I want to touch on the Ukraine today. I believe it's a major flashpoint on Earth right now. And if we look at it from, a non-biased perspective, or as I like to look at things, I'm a major detective on the moon whose job is on the line. And I have to get these things right, totally unbiased, not, like I don't even know the U.S. or Russia or Ukraine. Just I'm on the moon, and that's where the Federal Bureau of Moon Investigation. So it helps keep you unbiased. It appears to be between the U.S. and Russia, and not even worrying about anyone who may be pulling their strings behind the scene. At least not for our video. Anywho, poor Ukraine just so happens to be the turf on which this is playing out. I believe very early on Russia took the Crimea for the main reason to keep their main winter port safe. They could not and would not lose that. Almost as if they knew what was coming and took that piece off the chessboard early. Then the Ukrainian government was overthrown and someone obedient was put into power. You may, if you're new to this kind of stuff, you might hear it referred to as a puppet government, but we'll refer to him as an obedient government, them as an obedient government to the world machine. Then they were immediately put into debt, given billions from the U.S. and NATO, which just makes them more obedient to do the will of the world machine. And then Ukraine immediately divides so conveniently that it's already split down the middle anyway. Which side they tend to favor? The East tends to favor Russia. The West tends to favor whoever gives them money. Basically, Europe. Mostly, Europe, NATO. Basically, they're the kind of the side that can be swayed. With the division comes propaganda. Russia said, America said. We see America demonizing and blaming Russia for anything possible, and it looks to us like Russia is basically trying to disprove the blames. And if you dig at all, you can see through the U.S. and NATO's claims of Russian provocation. The separatists basically become part of Russia for propaganda purposes in this battle of blame. And the biggest event that we saw recently in this area was the MH17 crash or shoot down. We saw the U.S. blame Russia ASAP with every reason you could possibly think of, very vague reasons that were easily proven untrue by the internet news and by Russia themselves. And whatever the exact truth of that crash will never be known fully to me or you. But what we saw clearly is the use of that event to try and start a war and demonize Russia. Luckily, the internet news ripped apart and exposed this plane crash as an agenda-furthering event. And there will most likely be more events trying to lead us to war, which is what I believe is the main goal of the Ukrainian flashpoint. And a war for what exactly? That's what we need to find out. Is a control over resources such as natural gas in eastern Ukraine, or the pipelines that run through Ukraine, owned by Russia, that feeds a lot of Europe natural gas, or is it the BRICS Bank, which Russia is a major leader in, the bank that for our purposes, that appears to us to take a stand against the world machine. And it's most likely a little bit of all of them. And I don't believe for a second that Russia is innocent in this. They very well could be doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, following their script or their so-called destiny. The main point to this is innocent people are dying for the true reason that they don't even know, because they probably wouldn't fight if they did, but they are dying. as two superpowers just bump chests. It looks more and more like war is coming or already here. If it goes full-fledged, the front of this war will encompass the whole Earth, and even space possibly, because I believe that these two countries have satellite-based weaponry in space right now. That's not so far-fetched, believe me. We have to be educated and expose every attempt to go to war, but I believe they still will try to get us to go to war, but not as U.S. versus Russia. I don't think in this case. It will be Russia, or basically the BRICS nation versus NATO. And I think that will help them get us to war, because it's not like, you know, it's the U.S. versus Russia where the people can say no. It's more like group, like, well, oh, we have to help, it's NATO. So there won't be individual voices able to say hell no, this is BS. But knowledge is power, so let's learn and expose what we can. And as always, stay hydrated, my friends. Yeah, baby.